and would note that I was honored to be able to hear Senator McCain's comments on Ronald Reagan. This Sunday is indeed the 100th anniversary of his birth. It was an opportunity for the whole nation to honor the memory of a man who honored us with his leadership. In the 1980s, we were a weakened country. Inflation and unemployment were in double digits. The hostage crisis in Iran dragged on with no end in sight. Our standing abroad was waning, and so too was our military strength. Challenges at home were answered with one failed Washington program after another. We had lost confidence in our future and really the principles that made us exceptional. Ronald Reagan changed that. Part of that change began with 12 simple but crucial words. Government is not the solution to our problems. Government is the problem. And it is a big part of our problems. He stirred the passions of our country, revitalizing not only our economy, but our identity and confidence as free people. What some have called the Reagan Revolution, he called the Great Rediscovery. He instilled us with a new confidence in our future and in America's role as the last best hope of mankind. His achievements are well known, but they bear repeating. Working with Paul Volcker, chairman of the Federal Reserve, he tamed the inflation which was robbing Americans of their life's work and savings. It was a tough course, a tough road, but he saw it through, he stayed on the course, and we were stronger as a result, and we need to get on a tough road and stay the course today. He lowered taxes dramatically, including a reduction in the top rate from nearly 80%, and he reined in a runaway bureaucracy that had trapped innovation and productivity in a labyrinth of regulation and red tape. His faith in the free market was not misplaced. It rewarded us. He created 20 million new jobs, grew our gross national product by 26%, and began the longest peacetime boom in our history. Conditions improved for Americans in every walk of life. The net worth of families earning between $20,000 and $50,000 rose by 27%. Reagan's stunning success debunked every myth of those who believe a bigger government is more compassionate and can do more for more people. The growth and potential productivity of the private sector is what has made America the most prosperous nation. And this success at home was matched by his success abroad. He defended our principles and our way of life with clarity, confidence, and vigor. His policies brought down the Soviet empire. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Still resonates in our minds. And it liberated untold millions. Now today, more than 20 years after Reagan left office, we find ourselves facing many of the same challenges. A sagging economy, a growing government, and a diminished standing in the world. And we would be wise to remember the lessons of that era. Peace through strength, prosperity through freedom. He understood that our future greatness lies in the same place it always has, through our pioneering, restless, enterprising spirit that is filled with ambition and excitement and a deep sense of honor and decency that defines who we are as a people and who we will be tomorrow. In President Reagan's farewell address, he issued a word of caution: if we forget what we did, we won't know who we are. I am warning of an eradication of that, of the American memory that would result ultimately in an erosion of the American spirit, he said. So we face the dawning and defining challenges of our time, and as we do so, I hope we'll look back to the leadership he provided. Mr. President, just on a personal note, I was tremendously honored to have been appointed United States Attorney in the Southern District of Alabama by President Reagan in 1981. It was an office that I had served as an assistant in a number of years before, and to be able to come back and to lead that office was such a personal thrill. And you know, the President didn't give me any directions exactly what we were to do, but I absolutely knew, and I've often said it's a great example of true leadership. I knew exactly what he wanted me to do. And I gathered the staff, many of whom I'd worked for from years before, and used these words. I said, President Reagan sent me here to prosecute criminals and protect the United States Treasury. And I believe that's what he did. I believe that was implicit in his campaign, his consistent leadership, that he believed in law and order and efficiency. He wanted us to fight corruption and to try to help produce a more efficient government. I remember in those days that we went to a United States Attorney's Conference that I attended with my good friend, recently the Deputy Attorney General of the United States, Larry Thompson, and we would share rooms on the trips to save money. Because we knew and believed President Reagan wanted us to save money, and that our spending was out of control, and we had a serious financial problem. Our budgets were frozen, but we worked harder and we produced more. That can be done today. This whining that we can't reduce spending, and many times they define reducing spending, is a reduction of the projected rate of growth. It's not even a reduction of current level of spending. These kind of things happen throughout the government. It increased productivity of our government. It reduced the take of the federal government from the private economy. The private economy grew, and the governmental sector became more efficient and more productive. That's what we need to return to. It was such a fabulous honor to have the opportunity to serve in that position, and I hope that I was faithful to the values that the President who appointed me had. I got to tell you, I think I knew what they were, and I know I gave my best effort to be worthy of the trust he placed in me, and I think that was true of many, many more people throughout the federal government. I would note the absence of a quorum and yield the floor.